Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. This is Katie O'Neill and I am so excited to work with all of you today online. Hello out there in Facebook land, hi out there in YouTube land. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Katie O'Neill. I'm here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. It is an unusually warm and sunny November day. My number is 303-562-8659. Again, 303-562-8659. And today we're going to look at two very fantastic models. I sell a ton of both, but for those of you that are looking to learn a little bit more about the 4065, which is Newmar's all new 40-foot bunk model, versus Renegade's very, very successful, very well selling 40-foot bunk model, the 40VBH. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison today. And as usual, we'll start from the inside out. Jody, take her on back. So one of the things that's really exciting about this video today is that we have two units that are so similar in the marketplace that we can compare. So this 40VBH versus Superstar video is just really great timing. I've got two clients that have been generous enough to allow us to film their videos. So both to Tom and Kyle, thank you so much, and Hank for letting us go ahead and got a laser pointer on here. Look at this, you guys. Whoa, look at that. Sorry. I'm like a cat. Got a little excited. Okay, so again, thank you guys so much for allowing us to make a video of your units today. It's really helpful for those of us that are out there in the world shopping. Please keep in mind these are live videos, so if you've got any questions during the term of the video, feel free to reach out by Facebook, and I'd be happy to answer anything that I can get for you. We have full presentations of both of these units available in our archive at Transwest Truck Trailer RV, or TTTRV, at YouTube. We have dozens of videos, not dozens, hundreds of videos on these units. So today's video is going to be more of a comparison, just kind of showing you the feature benefits of both models. So we'll start off here in the bedroom. Fantastic layout, of course, by Newmar. Very much their traditional layout with a beautiful king-size bed, nightstands on either side. We'll have outlets over here that have both the two USB ports as well as a 110 outlet, and then storage here as well. So you've got a place to keep those water bottles stored while you're in motion, any books you might be reading. And then of course above here we have two 110 outlets along with little grommets here, so you can run any kind of cords that are necessary through, so you can have, you know, iPads, computer laptops, any kind of medical devices plugged in there above the bed. So really nice layout here in terms of the bed, a little bit different in terms of the closet structure. So let's just take a look at this. First and foremost, Newmar offers an optional safe. It's a little bit different there. They also have this whole rear closet door system. So as you can see, you've got a full, kind of like a residential style closet available to you. And then there's a ton of storage in this unit. And so this is kind of a unique feature to Newmar, where they really make use of all of this space. And this unit's about 11 inches taller. So this unit is 13 feet tall versus the Renegade Verona, which is going to be about 12 feet 1 inches tall. So a little more height, if you will, up there. And then also keep in mind, we have a few extra drawers that you'll find here in this Superstar, which are great if you've got kiddos with you or if you just have a lot of stuff. Both will have really nice soft close features. Both of these units are made in Indiana. One is made in Napanee, the Newmar, and the other is made in Elkhart, Indiana. Both have a very large Amish population that takes great pride in their craftsmanship. So both of these are going to have amazing solid wood doors. This is the Glacier glazed maple finish. A difference between the Newmar and the Renegade is that in the Newmar product you do have availability of different wood finishes. So spiced brandy is what you'll find in today's Verona. That's the standard interior finish. And in the Newmar you'll have kind of a variety of woods to choose from, like a dark wood, kind of an amber colored wood, a light wood, and then a medium colored wood. So this is one of the four. This is called Glacier Glazed Maple. And then I'll just show you a little more storage underneath, because I know when you're out there in the world trying to make those buying decisions, this information is important to you. So here we also have another bank of drawers. Now here in the Renegade, you'd have some wardrobes. So like I said, you've got more of a residential style closet, but you do have 6 very nice deep drawers. And then of course you also have a really nice, nightstand. So you've got, or not nightstand, but dresser. So you've got a great place to maybe lay out jewelry, things along those lines. And then up and above, you'll find that in the Renegade, you're going to have some standard audio video equipment that you won't find here. In 2022, we went ahead and did away with our Blu-ray players, but we do have your HDMI cord. And then we have a few different satellite offerings that are maybe more of a variety available in the Newmar that are optional in the Newmar, but not available in the Renegade. The Renegade has 2 standard satellite systems, and Newmar has maybe a more wide variety, but to be honest with you, both are more than adequate. All of them are going to have smart TVs, so this really nice smart TV setup is good. And then Newmar does a really nice job at lining all of their cabinets with carpet. Now, to be fair to Renegade versus Newmar, both of them are fantastic. They're both built on a Freightliner chassis. They both have a 360 horsepower engine. That is the same engine that was offered last year. It's just been tuned differently to offer a little more horsepower. Both have 1,150 foot-pounds of torque. In the Renegade, this is where your water would be stored. So there's a little bit of storage in the Renegade, but here in the Newmar, as you can see, you've got a little more storage. You also might notice that the floors here in the Newmar are tile and carpet. And you'll notice that in the Renegade, they are more of a wood look, but that is because the Renegade Verona LE would be more of a comparable model from a price point standard to a Superstar. The reason we're looking at the Verona today is because the Verona does not come, the Verona LE does not come in a bunk model. So if you're comparing bunk models side to side, the Superstar versus the Verona 40VBH are going to be your best comparison models. But do keep in mind there are also Verona LEs that have more of the porcelain tile finish, some of those things, and there's a pretty substantial price differentiation between the Superstar and the Verona. You're $75,000, $80,000 more to get into a Superstar than a Verona. So depending on whether or not you're looking for a motor home like this, which is more of that traditional RV finish, or you're looking for more of a motor cabin, which is going to be more of the Verona, those are really important things to discern because they are big difference makers in the product line and in the price. I think just personally having had a Verona and moving into a Superstar coming up this coming month, there are certain perks and benefits to both. One of the things I think is really nice about the Verona is that the beds are a little bit longer. So you'll notice here in this bed we have a 30 by 72 versus a 30 by 80. And please do take note of the windows here. This does have the optional TVs in the bunk area. And you'll see that there's a nice ladder here. In the other RV that we're going to look at today, we will not have the televisions and we'll have closet doors. But it's nice to be able to just kind of see the difference between the two. In the Verona 40VBH, you can also opt not to have the TVs, but in the Superstar, you cannot opt to have the closet doors. I do also want to make note that there's no ladder in the Verona, where there's a nice ladder here, so maybe designed a little bit better for littles. For me personally, we're buying our Superstar more for storage and capacity than we are for people. But of course, those things are, all part of your purchasing decision and can be different from household to household. So here we've got just a nice big closet door separating. So you've got separation of the bunks from the master bedroom in both units. And then Jody, if you can just pan up and show that beautiful feature design ceiling. So this is going to cover all of the returns and all of the ductwork in the Superstar. So that's just a nice, polished look. Like I said, this is much more of a motor home, more of that traditional style. And then here in the bathroom, you'll find we have kind of a different setup. It's got really good storage space still, so plenty of room to store things. I love that there's an outlet up here at the top shelf, so if you wanted to keep your hairdryer up here along with your curling iron, anything along those lines, you certainly could. There's actually 4 110 outlets up there. And then, of course, carpet lined once again to prevent rattles. And then you'll find that Newmar puts their circuit breaker here in the center. So there's your control panel for all of your power. Very clearly marked, very, very tidy. Both of these manufacturers are fantastic. So you'll find me hard pressed to really say one is better than the other. They're just different, and that's what this video is designed to do, is just show you what those differences are. Another differentiating feature between the two products, Newmar has an optional central vac. So this has that optional central vac. The kick plate is nice. It sucks stuff up. There's hoses that you can attach to that. We'll see those later on. Close that up. I like the towel storage here. I think that that's pretty handy. And then, of course, single drawer, and then more storage here under the sink, along with your toilet paper dispenser. Another big difference between Newmar and Renegade is going to be in the shower configuration. The teak bench is priceless. It really makes a big difference. If you want to sit down and shave your legs or wash your feet, it's really nice. I like the little shelf that you see here, but hanging from that rain shower head, you see Shower Miser Water Saver System. This is called the AquaView system. We call it AquaView, AquaMiser. There's a whole bunch of different names that have been used throughout the years. But basically what it does is when you turn this little knob over here, it recycles your fresh water. Both the Renegade and the Superstar have a 150-gallon freshwater tank. It recycles your fresh water into your freshwater tank when it's on. So in other words, while your water's heating, instead of filling up your gray water tank, it's actually taking that clean fresh water, letting it warm up, run through the system through that tankless hot water heater, and it's putting it back into that freshwater tank, so you're not filling up your gray water tank. Please note that one of the major differences in this unit is going to be that we have a 60-gallon gray water tank in the Superstar and a 40-gallon black water tank, where the Renegade has a 75-gallon gray water and black water tank. So better water capacity from a gallon standpoint in both gray and black water on the Renegade versus the Newmar. That being said, the Newmar has the AquaMiser system, so you're not going to fill that gray water tank up as quickly. So they've kind of compensated for it in some ways, and that's just another differentiating feature between the two. One is running on a hydronic system powered by Oasis. The other one is running on a 250D AquaHot system. Please keep in mind a more equal comparison of those AquaHot systems would be the 450D that's offered in the LE versus this dual loop Chinook system offered by Newmar. The Chinook system that's offered by Newmar is more of a marine grade system. It's actually, we're the only manufacturer at Newmar that uses that system in our RVs, as opposed to what you find almost in all of the other RVs. You find the AquaHot systems as opposed to the Oasis system. So that is a differentiating feature. In the Newmar Superstar, you're going to see that we do have some really nice additional storage here. And this is right next to the pantry, so you could keep your coats here, but you don't necessarily need to use those shelves for clothing, although they would be great for kids' shoes, I would think. You also have this really nice setup where you have some extra drawers down below. So if you did need more of your pantry space, you've got additional pantry drawers available right next to the main pantry, which is here. And you'll note that Newmar does this really nice rub-a-shelf push and pull feature. So these are full extension, all the way in, all the way out, and they lock in place by pushing. So if you get into one and you just pull on it, it won't come out. It's not broken. It's actually locked into place. And then Jody, if you pan over to the right, you'll see that Fisher-Paykel dishwasher. Another differentiating feature in the Superstar versus the Renegade is that you can have a dishwasher in this unit. So that's kind of a nice feature. Both units are going to have a true induction cooktop. Newmar is going to put a cutting board on the back of both of the stove covers. I will not use a cutting board in my new RV. I can't imagine having like little cut marks all over it. I will buy one that's just a little more shallow so that I can create a natural shelf for my cell phone. But a big differentiation between the two is in the Newmar, you can take your true induction outside. And I'm excited about this because I have right now a really nice Coleman low profile grill that I use for kitchen cooking outside. So if I'm sauteing vegetables or fish and I don't want to do it inside my coach, I use this little Coleman deal, but I don't want to use the gas on my really nice all-clad pans because they're induction cooktop pans, so they don't have any of that marring on them from the fire. So I have two sets of dishes that I use. I use 2 different frying pans and 2 different pots. This system I'm looking forward to trying out. I'm hoping that it'll eliminate that second need, so I can take this outside and use it on my picnic table if I want to cook outside, or I can use it inside as well, and I can just get down to having those that smaller pot selection. Both are going to have a really wonderful convection microwave oven, so you can see that here. And then tons and tons of storage in the kitchen, so lots of nice drawer space. Again, everything is going to be soft close throughout these coaches. Really nice, fantastic construction quality from our Amish friends out in Indiana. So that's cool. Oh, this is kind of a neat thing. We should bring this up. So on the Newmar, you can get a power baggage door lock. It comes with a chrome finish. If you opt for that package, you have power locks on your baggage doors. That is a differentiating feature. Another differentiating feature is going to be that you have the 2 Nova slide awnings available in the Superstar. So that this coach actually does have those awnings today. We'll take a look at those. One of the things that's really nice about them is that they do actually cover the entire coach. So the entire length of the vehicle has awnings on it, which is a little bit different than what you'll find in the Renegade. Now the standard awning, to be fair, in the Superstar is just that single awning. If you're looking for a video that shows that, I have a 4061. It's a 2021 Superstar that I did a video on that has that awning, so you would be more than welcome to go back and find that video. If you would like me to email it to you, I would be happy to send you the link. It also has the Belmont decor, which is a carryover from last year, so if you wanted to see Belmont, that would be a good opportunity. I can usually drum up a few videos that can get you the interiors of almost all of the Newmar offerings. So another differentiating feature that I love, that's a cute little place to keep your scrubby. I think that that's just fantastic. And then dual access to your trash can, and then just this little expandable kitchen counter, and then another access point here. Both are going to have really nice undermount residential style faucet heads. Residential style sinks. So I'll show you those. Here we have a dual basin, really nice stainless steel undermount sink, and then again that residential style faucet head, and then just some more storage up here as well. And then you'll note, again, all carpet lined. One of the nice features, a little bit less rattly. Of course, you could do that yourself. These are just the apparatus for your convection and microwave oven. Okay, so here's another differentiating feature. I'll show you both beds today just because I think that that's important. Now, we do have 2 ottomans here in the Renegade. You can also get an ottoman option. The ottoman option in the Renegade is going to be a full-length, kind of like this stuck together type of ottoman, which is nice. I don't know, if you don't like your husband and you want to share the ottoman, you'd have to sit next to him. But as long as you like your partner and you're enjoying your time on the couch, it doesn't matter. Both have options for theater seating this year, which is really nice. Both have beds that, or booths that convert into beds as standard features. The bed on the Renegade is a little different. It's kind of a trifold, where this one is going to be more of your traditional hide-a-bed style. And please note that Newmar also does have a few other settings or options that are available in this model line that are different. With the Renegade, you get just what you get. I mean, you can choose if you want lithium-ion batteries, you can choose if you want solar, if you want fancy blacked-out wheels, a really aggressive-looking grill, things like that. But Newmar gives you more of the creature comfort option. So, for instance, you could have a jackknife bed here and have this be a Eurobooth dinette with an extendable leaf and extra chairs. So, for you, it's more important to have more seating on the inside for family. You might choose a Superstar so that you can get that enhanced dining situation, or you might not, because if you do, you get a jackknife bed here. Now, also, one thing I think it's really important to mention. I'll go ahead and pull this out, but both of these are going to be queen size beds. You got seat belts underneath for both of these as well. One thing though that you'll see behind me, so you've got sleeping accommodations here for the queen, you've got the 2 bunks, you've got the king in the back, you've got some about 60 inches for littles over here on the left. This does not have a booth above it, or a bed above it, so you don't have the bunk over cab, and that's important. So what you do have is a panoramic roof. So honestly, I have to tell you, I loved my Renegade. There was nothing wrong with it. We just wanted to get a bunk model, and I felt silly buying the same thing I'd already had. Being in this industry, I felt like it was really my responsibility to try out the different manufacturers. So we opted for the Superstar, but I am really excited about this panoramic sunroof. I think it's fantastic. A little extra storage here. We're airing up. That's kind of exciting. I should probably turn that off, huh? So another thing that's different between Renegade and Newmar is in Renegade you're going to get Woody, and Woody is fantastic. In Newmar you're going to get Bruce. Both of these organizations have product managers that stand behind their customers, that are available by email, by phone. Both have a fantastic customer support system in place. Newmar is really unique in the fact that they have a manager assigned to each brand. So for Newmar, if you buy a Superstar, you get Bruce Bordner. If you buy a King Air, you get Craig. So it's a little more spread out, but of course they're selling a lot of RVs, so they need to have a little more manpower on the floor or on the ground. So nice storage here. If you were to compare this to the LE, you wouldn't have this up here, but you would still have extra storage. You just wouldn't have that pano roof. And as you can see, there's a lot of additional storage up here. This is a lot of extra room. These are not carpet lined, just so you know. That's something I would definitely change when mine comes in. Both of these seats are going to swivel and turn around. The air ride seat by Newmar's pretty easy to use. It does have pneumatic lumbar support, which is also nice. You also have a 360 camera that's available to you in the Superstar as an option, the OmniView 360 camera system. You also have this really cool side mirror. This is a little bit of a differentiating feature. I would imagine you can buy it, but that little top mirror right there is additional and really helps you to see the curb to the right of you when you're making a sharp turn. So that's kind of a nice feature. A lot of the features up here in this Freightliner cab are very similar, but Jody will step on back and I'm going to show you one of the main differences about this cab versus the Renegade. So not only do we have the panoramic roof here, but we also have this big black rainbow. So I've heard people call it like a floating cab, and I'll refer to it that way. I always say, you know, it's kind of like if you have your neck, you can kind of move your head around. So there's airbag system that is not that's not turned off or detached in this RV. So what that means is it's not really floating. You just have airbags in the front and airbags in the rear. And in a semi-truck situation, when you're hauling big heavy cargo, the payload is not attached to the cab of the semi-truck. It is like this, where it moves. It's separate, and so that when you hit bumps and you may yin yaw back and forth, you don't feel that quite as much because the chassis is not connected to the house. So that's really the difference here. And get back to me. I'll give you a lot of feedback. We will be taking our RV, you know, I think we put 10,000 miles on the last one per year. So we do get out there quite a bit. And I would be happy to give you feedback. From what I've understood from compare and contrast, this is one of those advantages that you have in the Newmar that you don't have in the Renegade. That being said, just having been to both plants, the brute construction that goes into a Renegade makes it a fantastic product, and it does drive like a monster. It is really fun to drive. So, you know, like I said, I'd be hard pressed to give you feedback that indicates which one is better for you or not. I think those features are going to be things that you're just going to have to discern for yourself. Another nice difference between these models is the fact that we have a televator on this side, and that's going to come up while I put these cushions back. All of these are going to have a really nice synthetic interior that's easy to wash and take care of. So, you know, if you want to get something lighter, we have 3 different color combinations available in both offerings. Renegade tends to do more of a medium earth tone, light earth tone, and gray. And honestly, Newmar does too. This is Colfax, this is the gray. They have Gotham, it's a medium beige. And then they have I'm sorry, that would be the light beige. And then they have the last one, which I just mentioned a few seconds ago. Now my brain has erased it, but the Belmont. And the Belmont's like their light, or their medium earth tone. So really both manufacturers have nice offerings for you from that standpoint. Love the televator. Some things to mention about this setup. Both of them are going to have a really nice sound bar up top. This is a Bose sound bar. Big TV, smart TV, USB ports, and 110 outlets on either side. So great offering there. Both of them are going to have this, you know, drop down booth that converts into a bed. The windows, in terms of the way they open, all of them have screens just the same way. I like this feature in that if it's raining, the rain's going to come down, but it's not going to come into the coach, which is kind of nice. But all of them have really nice windows, really good breathability. The storage above is a little different. So a little more narrow here. We've got a bunch of wires that are being housed and running through underneath here. And then the construction on the Newmar is interesting in that it's raised on the star foundation, so it's up above the chassis rail. What that does is it gives you better bay storage underneath and maybe a little more insulation available as well. But it also makes your coach a lot taller. So if that's important to you, sorry Jody, I'll let you catch up. I'll open the rest of these. This is going to be the curtain for the front so that you can black this out. And of course, I know you saw that shade down earlier. And then another feature that's different, not just for Newmar versus Verona, or Newmar versus Renegade, but in the 2020 model, we did not have, in the 2021 model, we did not have this additional slide. So this extra room that you see here is really, really a benefit of having a 3-slide unit. So this slide used to be stationary. So if you can imagine, when you put the bed out before, it like really came right to the end of the booth. So the booth was not as deep as it is now. Really, really nice though to add this additional slide. So you've got a 3-slide unit versus a 2-slide unit. So that's going to be another feature. And of course, this gives us a lot of living space in the galley up here. So, oh, I should also make mention of this. So this is another important feature. We're going to go through and pull in the slides today so that you can see the space, the walking space. But before I do, I really like the Firefly system a lot. A lot of you are familiar with it. I can use it on my phone. I cannot do that in the Superstar. So that is definitely something that I would say would be an improvement I'd like to see in the future. I love being able to turn my lights on and off with my phone. All of that being said, you've got a really nice digital outlay for your tanks. You also have a really nice HVAC system outlay here. There's this Girard awning system, so this is where you change your channel or control your awnings. And then you have LED lights on both awning sets in the Newmar and in the Renegade. Your battery disconnect is up above in this unit. The chassis disconnect is underneath the seats on both of the units as well. But this is the big deal. So if you have an older dog or, I don't know, a wily child or something like that and you want a step cover, you can make one for the Renegade, but it does not come as a standard feature or option that you can order. So that step cover is something I'm actually really looking forward to. I have 3 French Bulldogs, and I mean, they're sweet as heck, but they've just got zero common sense. I can't even imagine them in the coach. They have to be in their kennels, and in this they could actually probably be out of their kennels, which would be nice. Okay, so I'm going to bring these slides in so we can see this. I should probably go move those ottomans. I'll do that before I bring in the second slide. And what we're going to do today is we're going to try to do both interior versus interior, just so that you can see the walking space, the furniture differentiation, kind of the inside. I'm really big on inside out, so if you go to hashtag RVs inside out on YouTube, you'll pull up probably 50, 60 videos that I've done. A lot of them on 40VBH Renegades and Superstars and a lot of Dutch Stars. I'm a really big fan of both of these manufacturers, but I think it's important to know, like, if I'm going to consider buying something, I want to know, like, how's the inside function? This is like, for me, this is the most important thing, especially when you've got two units, both with 360 horsepower, both with 1,150 foot-pounds of torque, both with 150 gallons of water, both with 20,000 pound towing capacities. What do I get? Like, what's the differentiating aspect of these coaches, and why would I consider one versus the other? And so as you can see here, with this full wall slide which is very much a Newmar trademark, with this full wall slide in, you still have a lot of room here in the galley to cook. So a lot of dining room. Now, in terms of getting back and forth between the two, honestly, Newmar does not do it as well as Renegade does. But in this particular unit, this has got to be some of the better walking space that we have with the slides in. So if you are going back and forth, you can actually get in here pretty easily. Probably would keep the ladder up just so that you could have access to go to the restroom, but you could very easily get into this restroom from the coach with all the slides in. The other thing that's kind of nice about both of these is that you could use both of these at a rest stop if you decided not to put your slides out with all of the slides in. So it might not be super comfortable to have to crawl onto the bed in the back, or to crawl in here for at night, with the ladder up. It might be a little tight, but absolutely, if you were stopping in between locations and you just needed to catch a few hours of shut-eye before you went on the next leg of your journey, you could absolutely access all of the sleeping accommodations in both the main bedroom and in this bunk area without putting your slides out, which is nice. You could not do laundry. Maybe a good excuse not to do laundry. Sorry, honey, I can't put the slides out. Okay, so I think that covers most everything. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. I didn't show this to you earlier, but this is another door. I don't want to open it while it's closed, but this is just another door. So you do have separation for the bunks for the kids on both sides, and that's going to be the same in Newmar. So now let's go ahead. I think, Jody, why don't you go ahead and step out, and you can go ahead and meet me in the Renegade. And I do have the awning out, so you can see this dual jarred awning, but we can take a look at that later. But I did stick it out with my remote. And keep in mind, Renegade uses the Carefree system, so you wouldn't have a remote, but you would be able to do that from your phone. So kind of the same overall idea. This step here is a differentiating feature. We'll cover that the rest of the outside when we get done with the interior. But since that's going to close when I close this, might as well go ahead and tell you about it now. The HWH step goes all the way down to the ground. It also has a really nice feature where if you hit a curb, it'll stop, but it'll still articulate, so you can get that full extension to the ground as much as possible, even in a tight location. But Jody, if you don't mind, go ahead and take her on back. This is going to be, again, a 2022 Verona 40VBH. What's nice about these two units is they're really similar. This is a skyline color combination and gray mist interior. So this is the gray for the Renegade Verona, and it's the blue for the Renegade Verona. So you're seeing both of those things. And then here is again a 72 by 80 king size bed. These are both RV Kings. Both have a really nice headboard situation. Both have plugs where you can keep things up above. This one has the bunk over cab storage. It does not have the grommet, so you have more of a machine that you would need to run. You might have to put it on one of these shelves or a laptop. Again, you can do that. This is a big improvement in the 2022 edition. I really, really like the way they've done the cabinetry in here. Both of them are going to have the washer and dryer in the bedroom, which is nice. I mean, for me, this is a huge perk. Usually when I'm doing laundry, I want to be able to take it out, throw it on the bed, sort everything, and then fold it all. So I really like that as well. In the Newmar, we had those cute little latches. In the Renegade, again, much more motor cabin. We've got snaps and solid pocket doors. Both really fantastic doors. Not a lot of, things to say there. If you notice over here, Jody, next to the bedside, only one nightstand in this unit versus the two. If that matters to you. And then we talked a little bit about these wardrobes. So not as much of that traditional closet, but still nice separation. And you get 3 wardrobes instead of just 2. I would say closet space to closet space, maybe a little bit more in the Superstar, but not a whole lot more. The difference is really going to come in terms of drawer storage. So a big long drawer here, and then these 3 drawers here as well. But not as much storage from a drawer perspective as you have in the Newmar, but certainly still enough. And then this cabinet's a great place to keep, for us, we keep our hiking shoes and such. And then here, as I said earlier, you're going to have your Blu-ray player standard feature. Still escape windows in both units. You still have a nice little dresser here. It's just not quite as grandiose. And you still have your television here in the center as well. And then we talked a little bit about that water being under the bed. So there's your water tank. So again, both have a 150-gallon water capacity. And I've had a lot of people tell me that this is where they would keep their guns. So I guess good under bed gun storage for those of you out there that might want to keep your hunting stuff in your RV. Great place there. So a different feature, again, really long drawer storage here in the bunk area for the kids. So all of these drawers are just huge. They're shallow, but if you have littles and you can roll up their underwear and their shorts and their t-shirts and socks, I mean, that's just a ton of room. And then these removable bunks are not available on the Newmar, and I think they are so incredibly nice. So I don't know if you can get in here, Jody, but over here you can see one of these apparati where you can actually remove the bunk or remove the closet door. So this whole entire setting, you pull these pins and you can actually take this out. And if you opt for these closet doors, it comes with an optional storage space for overhead storage. So if you want hanging storage for a lot of hanging storage, again, this is going to be 80 inches versus 72. 80 inches of hanging storage. Holy macaroni, that's a lot of storage. And then same really nice solid surface on both Newmar and Renegade. They both do a fantastic job. If you were to get this with the televisions, the TVs would be down here on the right-hand side. And a very similar setup where the kids have USB ports and 110 outlets. Again, this is just more outfitted for somebody who has, for me, my kids are older. They don't need DVDs. They're probably going to be on their iPads or their phones. The windows are a little bit smaller, but both of them still open. Both have screens. Really, really nice setup. And then I am going to show you that separation. Oh, I'm sorry. I just dinged. Don't ding the gimbal. It's a bad idea to ding the gimbal. I dinged the gimbal. So here's that separation. Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Is there a control panel for the solar panels?
Yes. So the control panel for the solar panels is kind of a loaded question. So in the Superstar that we were just in, I had it solar prepped. Newmar offers for about $5,500 4 solar panels that are 100 watts each, and they're basically like they're a thin sheet that you can actually walk on. And 400 watts of solar is not a huge amount. So I had that solar prepped, and I did have the solar installed. I added 3 175 watt panels, which is actually what this RV has as an optional feature as well. So this has 3 175 watt panels. Difference being, I can choose where to put that that register in the RV. I chose or elected to put it down next to the batteries, where it's convenient for a tech. For those of you that are really looking to be able to monitor it, you can also in the Newmar Superstar put it inside. That's where it would normally go if it was a factory install. But what's nice with the Renegade is with the Renegade here, you actually have access to all of your all of your power sources right here. So you have all of your charging showing you right here. You also have all of your generator. You see we have no shore power. So you have everything here, and you have an app on your phone as well that you can actually monitor everything in the RV from inside here. So yes, you have complete readability, and that's one of the reasons I really like this Firefly app. Is I really like the interface and being able to actually monitor my solar and everything else on my RV inside of the RV. So that is 100% a benefit, I think. But I haven't had the Superstar out on the road yet, so I don't know if I'm going to like the Silverleaf system better than the Firefly system. It's just one of those things. Currently, I'm used to this. I really like it on my phone. As you saw here too, I like the being able to retract my slides from inside of the coach. So since we're going to be doing this anyway, I might as well show you now. So this I could actually do on my phone. So here's that walking space. So again, really good room here. And then also you have complete access to the restroom, even with the slide all the way in. Again, 2-slide unit instead of a single slide. And then here above the toilet, you have a great place to store toilet paper. We keep all of the little, pods that we use for our toilet. Both have porcelain toilets. Both have, this one has a toilet paper dispenser. It's kind of more of a traditional. I did like, I know we have a Dometic in the Superstar. I did like this. You had the regular or the full flush, which I thought was pretty nice, available here. And then just a really nice sized, sturdy porcelain toilet. And then 2 drawers instead of that 1 deep drawer like you saw next door. Still a great place to keep towels. So really a very, very similar layout. A ton of tall space here. Keep your Belvedere vodka bottle. They're really tall. I'm just kidding. Don't take that camping with you. That would not be any fun at all. And then look at that nice medicine cabinet. Again, not carpet lined, much more motor cabin, but really, really great use of space. So I'll tell you right now, one of the things that is a consideration for me, this shower is awesome, but it's not exactly the easiest thing to sit on because there's a control here that kind of pushes into your back. You can still shave your legs. The 35-inch radius shower is something I'm looking forward to trying a different rendition of. So even though I'm losing a few inches in the Newmar, it's more of a square shower with that seat. I'll get back to you and tell you what I think. All of these RVs are going to have, these adjustable shower heads, the handheld wands. The Superstar has 2, where the Renegade just has the 1, but not really a big deal, I don't think. Also, you'll note that we have, in the Gray Mist Edition, a dark countertop. I have done probably 2 or 3 videos where I've done either that medium sandstone interior with the cappuccino countertop, which is a white or fawn colored countertop, really like light color, kind of a beige mixture through it. But if you would like to see that, I do have plenty of videos that have that lighter countertop in it as well, so if you want to see both of those. Again, 3 interior offerings by Renegade. Tim O'Connell is fantastic. If you haven't had the pleasure of hearing or watching some of his videos online, he's our rep here in this region, and he is the man. He's like, I think we're trying to get more flexibility and the package options with Renegade, and I was like, no, please don't. It's really nice just to be like, do you want the gray one, the medium brown, or the light brown interior? Because it's really well done, and it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. And again, Renegade, if you order your RV, can sub in a lighter countertop for you if you'd like to have a lighter countertop.
We do have another question.
Awesome.
The question was about upgrading the refrigerators to have ice and water dispense.
So we don't have that option, and that is a differentiating feature. Both of them are going to have a residential refrigerator, but having a water dispenser in the door is not optional on the Verona, but both of them will have ice makers. So one of the things that's nice about these, the Renegade, is I love their latch systems. They're really rudimentary. So you can easily tell if it's red, it's locked. If it's blue, it's not. But they took the handles off of the doors, which is nice for when you're walking down the hallway. But you do have an ice dispenser on both, and a really nice deep drawer storage on both as well. I don't think we even looked inside of the refrigerator next door. They're both really nice. One's a Whirlpool, one's a Samsung, big deal. They're both cool. I mean, I don't know, this is a great refrigerator for us. I love the space above this as well. Super handy. Can keep a lot of stuff in there. Holy macaroni. I am going to remember to show you. Oh, I can't. Okay, I'm not going to show this to you because that little plastic tab with the snap, it's snapped, and I already closed the slide and I'm not opening it again. If you want to see that close though, it does close. And like I said, there's like 50 videos of it somewhere else. Okay, so we talked about how the storage in here is a little bit different. Look at this, like 12 feet of storage. This is so much storage. Holy macaroni. And what's interesting about Renegade is it's just straight uniform. It's like not complicated. It's like really nice because you can get all of like your little Tupperware boxes. They can be intermixed. I usually use label makers on mine. And they kind of move around depending on what kind of trip we're having or what I'm doing. And it's going to be different in the Newmar. They're much more unique in terms of the shapes and sizes of them. So that uniformity that you see in Renegade, which is very, very, I don't know how to describe it other than saying motor cabin versus motor coach. Just very simple, very functional, not a lot of fluff. So if you want the fluff and the opulence, you got Newmar next door. If you want just something that works, that's really rugged and you know, we talked about that floor. You know, look at this. What a great floor. I mean, this is never going to look dirty. It's so awesome. You got dogs, you got kids, whatever. You'll never see footprints on here. I love that in the 40VBH you get the full length mirror. There's also an outlet down below. That is so where I would blow dry my hair every morning. I swear to you. Both of them are going to have, snapped block. Storage underneath. Sorry you didn't see that next door. These are the cushions for the bed underneath. Same function though, just goes sliding down. So pretty easy there, locks into place. And then we did talk about showing you how this bed works. So let's see, we have sleeping here for a queen. We've got our shorty. We've got our two bunks. We've got our king in the back. And then we have this bed. Now, I'll tell you, this bed is really comfortable. It certainly is not as decadent as a trifold, or sorry, not trifold, but as a typical hide-a-bed. It's more of a trifold. But honestly, it works really, really well. And what's interesting about this, though, is if you think about it, you don't need this bed because you already have an extra bunk with a queen-size bed above the cab in this RV. Now, rumor has it that one of these days we're going to see that bunk over cab available in the LE as well. I'd love to see them come up with a LE with bunk over cab and bunk model, but for the time being, pretty nice setup here. This is, again, same size, queen size bed, plenty of room, super, super comfortable. Lots of room for 2 adults, 2 kids, 3 kids. I wouldn't complain about it, but for those of you that like the aesthetic of the single mattress, that's a big difference between the Newmars. Seatbelt's still behind the couch in both models. A little different function. Once again, just really, really rugged, really well manufactured, really strong construction, and a little less fancy in the Renegade, but at $75,000 less, you're still getting a really good bang for your buck, which I think is pretty awesome. Honestly, I am really glad that I already had a Renegade and that it made it such an easy decision to try something new, because I would have had a hard time deciding between these two vehicles. The couch construction, you know, the Villa versus this kind of really nice, like meaty, thick. I feel like the fabric on this, if you had dogs that were really big, if you had kids that are really maybe a little more rough and tumble, if you've got a little more heavy duty traffic throughout the coach, this might be a good fit for you. Pop-up windows, just the same. So that's kind of a nice feature. Lots of good ventilation. Jody, if you just pan up and show the ceiling. No fancy return ducts. Just 2 air conditioners, 2 15,000 BTU heat pump and AC units on top of the coach on both models. Hydronic heat, all electric on both models. Again, aqua-hot system on this model versus the Oasis dual loop Chinook system on the Superstar, but still fantastic offerings on both. We have a high point convection and microwave oven on this. I've had a lot of people are like, oh man, at high point, when they start using that. I don't know, like 2019, 2018, forever. It works great. I can vouch for it. I've used it a ton. Here's all your controls for your television. A little more generous cabinet space up top here. Look at that big shelf, you know, kind of nice. Of course, you've got those extra shelves in the Superstar. Another access point here.
The question is also about the fridge, that if they were to buy a Samsung with water and ice, can the dealership install it?
I would be happy to get back to you. I've got someone asking if we could install a refrigerator that had a water and ice maker in it. I would imagine the answer is yes. There's really, I've done bidets. I've done some crazy stuff on RVs. That seems pretty easy. I don't think we would have an issue for it because the water line's already there. So I would say my hunch is yes. If you would do me the kindness, just IM me or reach out to me via email. I will have a solid answer for you. One of the things, I don't know everything, but I try really hard not to answer questions that I don't know without doing a little bit of background research for you first. So I'd really feel more comfortable in just finding out whether or not we could do it. But I would imagine the answer would be yes. Thank you so much for all these questions. This is awesome. Okay, so residential side faucet again, really, again, a nice undermount sink. I'm really gonna miss this about my RV. I love a single basin. Building a house right now, I'm using an induction cooktop because I loved the induction on my Renegade. And I'm doing a single basin sink. I prefer the single basin, but you know, you can't have everything. Look at this storage underneath here. So Renegade's got a lot of storage. Really nice. I'm also gonna miss this. Look at that big trash can. So I would stack up a black one, a blue one, and then this gray one. The black one would be for outside trash, the gray one would be inside trash, and the blue one would be for recycling. So I really, really liked that as well. More storage here. Lots and lots of really deep drawer space. Nice separation here. Now, of course, you'll see we have more drawers. Why do we have more drawers? Because we don't have a dishwasher. Well, we do. His name is Jason. Hi, honey. And he's a great dishwasher. Lifetime warranty. Just got engaged. All right, so here is our true induction cooktop. So equally as large, just not removable. It's a set unit. As you can see, the backsplash in the Verona is not as dressy as the backsplash that you found in the Superstar, but keep in mind, if you were comparing this to a Verona LE, it would be as fancy, just more cabiny. So the same, just different. We also talked about circuit breakers in the bathroom versus here in the kitchen area. So same idea, really well labeled, you know, easy access, just different point. And we talked a little bit about the storage that you have in the pantry, a little wider, not as many drawers, but deeper drawers. I found these very useful. I use my XOXO containers in them so I can keep all my staples, beef jerky, you know, chips, things like that. And then this was handy for us because we use this for our coffee maker, our rice cooker, any of the things that we were bringing on our trip. So lots and lots of pantry space. And oh, let's talk about the TV. So the TV is going to be different. That's going to be one of the main differences here. So Samsung television, pull this cord, you can pull it out to adjust it, but it's not a pop-up TV. It's not on a televator. Disadvantages, I don't know, people complain about the location. I have to tell you, just from personal use, you can turn these seats around, you can sit on this couch, you can sit over there at the dinette. In the Superstar, I won't be able to sit at the dinette and watch the TV unless I really want to watch it from the periphery of my eyes. Like, it's going to be too close. So I think you've got like a little bit better viewing space, honestly, with the TV here. I don't know why people complain about it, but it is a, you know, oh, I don't like that TV. Well, check this out. You can watch a movie while you're driving, and I'm not going to leave my televator popped up while I'm driving. So if I want to watch a movie in my Superstar, I'm going to have to watch it either in my bedroom or in one of the bunks. versus in my Renegade, me and the kids would always pile up and watch like How to Train Your Dragon or whatever it was that we had on DVD from Walmart, because we like to watch bad DVDs from Walmart, although How to Train Your Dragon is spectacular. Even number 2 is good, just saying. But no, so this is nice. Again, you got that sound bar that has the Wi-Fi capacity. But take a look at this. So this is a really interesting, different feature. Now, of course, we have our panoramic roof. You can't see it from the driver's seat, but the kids would still have this great access point. It brings a lot of extra light into the cab. It does have a cover that goes over it. And then you have a queen size bed. So this is so cool. Lots and lots of room up here for an additional guest. You would not catch me going up and down a ladder at night on this bunk, but I would be in the king size bed anyway. So really, really nice feature here. Great storage capacity here for anyone. So with this you guys all missed that behind the scenes. We've got Cherish, who's awesome, literally like rebattering my mic while I'm live on YouTube and Facebook, because man, this has been a long video already, and doing it twice, I can't do it, man. It's brutal. No, and it's not brutal. I hope you guys all appreciate what we've been able to do in here. I'm gonna go ahead and bring these slides in now, because I know we talked about doing that. Got the rears already in, the front you can retract. So 2 control panels here for slides, and again, one of the big differentiating features in this RV, bunk over cab, 2 slides as opposed to 3, but Renegade does a fantastic job at the walking space. So again, for those of you that have really big dogs, which is what I hear a lot, like I've got 2 150-pound Malamutes or something like that, like holy mackerel, first of all, your dog food bill must be expensive, and I don't like the cleaning up part either. That sounds awful, but man, they would be super happy in here. Plenty of walking space. Again, we showed you earlier, easy access to that bathroom. And then someone asked me if you could access the bunks. I mean, you can. It's not exactly ideal. It's kind of tight, but yeah, you could get in and out of the bunks with the slides closed. That was a question I was asked a while back, so that's the answer to that one. I'm going to go ahead and put this awning out. Jody, if you want to meet me outside, I'd like to be able to show you that, and then we'll just do a little walk around of the undercab storage. So the basement storage in these RVs, both of them have huge pluses and minuses. You know, it just depends on how you travel, what you carry with you. I would definitely be using the Carefree, you know, app on this, or the Firefly app to put my awning out, because I can't see when it's out. Hey Jody, if you wouldn't mind, if you could give me a thumbs up when the awning's out, that would be awesome. Probably should have synced it to my phone. I did not bring my phone with me today because honestly, during these live videos, it's amazing how like people I haven't heard from, oh, I've got the thumbs up. People I haven't heard from for months all of a sudden have to give me a call and tell me like about their dog and stuff. I don't know. So only during my videos. Okay, so look at this storage underneath here. So storage here is fantastic. Oh, steps. So not that it's a bad step, it's a fine step. I like the 3 steps. They're a little more gradual, but other than that, this has always functioned perfectly fine for me. Both of these RVs are going to have that same great access with, you've got the two 50-gallon saddle tanks, so you've got 100-gallon fuel capacity on both. You can fill both on, or you can fill on both sides. Both are going to have the fill stations right here next to the driver's door, so that's a nice feature. And then really easy access. Please do keep in mind this system is going to come with a new improved Garmin system, and you're also going to have Mobileye as well as lane tracking. You will not have that on the Superstar. So different there. On this you'll have the 360 camera. So I don't know, like I said, you couldn't get me to tell you one was better than the other. All I can tell you is that they're different and they're both fantastic. And I don't know, I obviously like both of them. I spent a lot of money buying one of these and I traded it in, and now I'm spending a lot of money buying one of those. So I'll put my money where my mouth is. I think they're both fantastic units. So storage here underneath is not going to be quite as tall. I brought my measuring tape along today just so I could do. Jody said, "What are you going to measure, Katie?" And I was like, "I don't know. I'll feel it when it's time to measure." This feels like time to measure. So about 25 inches tall in terms of storage. That is definitely a difference. The TV location is going to be a difference. Both are going to have a sound bar. Both a sound bar can play off of the interior cab, or it could be Wi-Fi to your phone. Watch a movie out here underneath your awning. You can see here your awning is about half the length of what we had with the dual Girard awnings. The reason that is because this topper that you see here is a slide topper. That's actually where the bedroom pops out. And so that is an awning, but it's more of a topper than an awning. It's to cover that back bedroom. This is a lot of really big storage. It has ports that go down underneath. It's all carpet lined. You have dual latches on your doors, so nice and sturdy. Again, I can't tell you, like, walking through the Renegade factory and just seeing these big buff dudes, like with their big welders and the sparks flying everywhere, and you gotta do it. I mean, go to Napanee, go to Elkhart, tour both facilities, get your feel on, figure out which one of these is best for you, because they both have great advantages. Now, I did leave these slide locks in this compartment here. You can air up your tires in both units, but in the Newmar, you don't need to use a slide lock. They lock automatically. They've got a locking mechanism, so you don't need that apparatus. Honestly, I never used mine either. My slides never came out. For me, I would just forget that I put my slide locks in place, and then I go to put my slides out and probably break something. So I break lots of stuff. Ask my boss. I just ran into his truck with my golf cart. Hi, Andrew. Sorry about that. Look at that. It's a big, deep one. It's a lot more deep, and you can see that chassis rail, so you can see that is where Newmar is going to have that star foundation. We'll cover that in the next RV over, so you can see the difference there. But so it's sitting up a little bit higher, and like I said, that 11 inches is the difference between the height on these two units. I love this little back compartment. This is where I kept my little fire pit, so I love, for those of you that are in Colorado or places where there's fire bans, the propane fire pit is super awesome, so you can still have a little bonfire, sit around and tell campfire stories. I better grab my clipboard, huh? I know I don't need it. I have this whole thing memorized, but I just don't feel comfortable not having my clipboard. Leave my glasses there. All right, so as you can see, both of these coaches have a really robust and really awesome looking fiberglass cap. So this one here, as you can see, is a separate cap. So if you were to get rear-ended, Lord help you, because you got a really big hitch receiver in the way. But you could remove this and just repair that. Or if you decided to run into a tree, which is something I would probably do. Voyager for your camera system right here, 7-pin connector for your trailer, for your lights, brakes, all those things. Reversible hitch. All of this is going to be the same between both manufacturers. Here is your power cord reel. One difference I think that's worth mentioning is In this we have our surge protector. That's also optional, so is a power cord reel. A little grommet there for you to run it through. I like the location of the power cord reel here in the back of the coach. This is a shorter cord. It's about 36 feet instead of 50 feet. And in the Superstar you need it because it's way towards the front of the coach. All of that being said, I like the location of the awning 8 kilowatt or 8,000 watt generator in the Superstar better because it's not in the bedroom. So this is right under your bed. So was really never an issue with us. Every once in a while in Arizona, if it got super hot at night and the air conditioning kicked on and we needed to run the generator, that was the only time where it kind of wasn't optimum, but really didn't bother us. The other thing that's nice about it being in the bedroom is that you don't really use it when you're sleeping very often. And so it's not up in the front where you're hanging out with the family. So 2 different ways to look at it, I guess. Both are going to have these big 22.5-inch wheels and tires. This is the regular set. This is a standard offering. If you'd like to see the American racing wheels and the Caliber 9 grill, I got a ton of videos. It's hard to escape them. They're on a lot of the RVs that are coming in. Kyle was more excited to save the money. I like these rims, to be honest with you, the best because I've got a moose guard or cattle guard, whatever you want to call it, going on the front of mine as an accessory, and this just matches better. Bridgestone versus Michelin, I don't know. They're both good tire manufacturers. Tire manufacturers actually are sought out by the RV company, and the RV has tires that are manufactured for it to meet specs. So each one of these manufacturers is using really good tires on their RV. The brand really doesn't matter. It's the composition of the materials, and year after year you'll find different manufacturers receive higher ratings, but I've never had complaints on any of the new RVs that I've sold about the tires. So this is kind of fun. Your water bay is definitely a little more petite in the Renegade. They give it a little less attention. Your low point drains right here. You'll notice that your black tank dump, gray tank dump, it's just these little levers right here, but they're actually carved into this, which is really cool. I like that. Your water hose is also on a power hose reel, which is great. Super easy to access, easy to fill. So nice system right here. You'll see that it has the low point drain and then your spigot. One thing to keep in mind is that this does not have hot and cold water. No, I can't add it. So, and it is nice. You know, the little rugrats, they don't necessarily want to get rinsed off in cold water, but they're kids. They don't get an opinion. They're just kids. The dogs, however, no, I'm just kidding. No, so I mean that's a differentiating feature. This is just your water tanks. These do have 110 volt heat pads on them. Both of these coaches are going to have the ability to be taken off grid in cold weather. So these are both with that hydronic heat, great all-weather coaches. Here's that AquaHot 250D. A little extra storage here. Great place to keep some gloves perhaps. Another storage bay here. And then the difference here is that we're going to have our lithium ion battery bank here. So here you've got your lithium ion batteries. We only offer a lithium ion battery option in the King Air in Superstar. So here you've got lithium ion. These are all of course measurable once again by that app that we talked about earlier on your Firefly system. So you can keep an eye on charge. I have a lot of opinions on lithium ion batteries. I've probably delivered, I don't know, 10, 15 of these Renegades with and without. So I'd be happy to kind of go through the pluses and minuses of that system and why you might want it or not want it. And then again, here's your fueling station, your DEF tank here as well. Both of these are going to have a 6-gallon DEF tank. And then also you'll have these really nice chrome convex mirrors on both offerings. You're going to have your side cameras on both offerings. You're going to have your good access point to these Cummins. Again, this is the 8.9 liter ISL Cummins, 360 horsepower, 1,150 foot-pounds of torque on a Freightliner chassis. Everything that you see there in red, of course, is Cummins. Everything in black is Freightliner. So easy access on both of these for certain. And now let's go ahead and take a look next door here. We'll do the same walking tour. And you can see the difference in the awning size. So that's one of the optional features here. Now keep in mind, the standard awning goes out to just about here if you don't get the optional, so it's still a little bit bigger than the Renegade awning, but this is a $7,000 option. So if you like it, it's awesome. It's not free. So just make sure we mention that up front. It does have these really nice LED lights. I'm really excited about trying it. And now I don't have these deployed. I did a full video on this last Monday, so if you want to see the Carefree awning package, that is a differentiating feature. This Carefree awning comes out and is above the televator section or above the dining room so that you don't have that hot sun baking in. Today it's 70 degrees at the end of November in Colorado. I'm a little bit freaked out about it personally, but it is a beautiful sunny day. If you wanted to have your awnings in because it was maybe a little bit blustery or windy, both of them have the wind sensing awnings, so they both, the Renegade and the Newmar will come in automatically in bad weather conditions. The Carefree awning package, where you get the 3 smaller window coverings, in addition, is optional on the Newmar and not available on the Renegade. So here's that front compartment. As you can see here, we talked a little bit earlier about the height. So I'm gonna venture a guess that this is about the same. Let me see if I can get this to, yeah, so about 25, 26 inches here. But you'll notice when we get to the back, they're gonna be a little bit bigger or a little bit taller. But as you'll also note, this is not nearly as deep. So for those of you that are looking for specific measurements, I have done a lot of specific measurement videos on both. Just let me know. I can send you both that have all of the measurements the whole way through. But so really nice storage here. Of course, this mid-door entry is part because you have this front slide that's new and again additional for the 2022 model year. But look at the size of this bay. This is where it gets kind of interesting. This is where that star foundation gives you a huge advantage in terms of height. So I could put all 3 of my paddle boards in here. This is 34 inches tall at a minimum. So I really do like that feature. I think that that's pretty exciting. I also like the fact that the TV is actually lower. We have mostly lawn chairs, so I like to actually have it down a little bit closer to the ground because we're typically sitting a little lower. We don't have our bar stools with us. In the different Superstar models, please keep in mind it's not always going to be in this bottom bay. But nice feature there. And again, here's your 22.5. This is just a Michelin, same rim set for all intents and purposes. Newmar does not have an American racing wheel option for you. So Transwest is a huge company. We've got 38 locations, and most of them are semi-trucks. We also have Jeep, we also have Ford, we have, so we have domestic stuff, but we have a lot of like trans lease, we have a lot of semi-truck stuff. So if you want any kind of accessories or options for your Super C, we have the things that you need. We can even get you different chairs if you want massage features, or if you have back issues, whatever it might be, we can really help you out a lot in that segment. So another difference maker, being able to have a full slide pass-through or a full basement pass-through is a function of having that star foundation. And you can see the star foundation over here on the left. Basically what Newmar does is they build this up and then they set the floor down on top of it after it's been constructed. So this is actually, it's raised to meet above the chassis rail, giving you a softer feel, a little more insulation. It redirects the weight of these big slides towards the center of the coach, helping with that tippy feeling. And like I said, I'm gonna have a lot of road time in this, given, I think my RV should come in sometime towards the beginning of December. I would be happy to get to you with feedback. I'm sure I'll mention a lot of it in my videos. But one of the things that's nice is you can get this optional slide here. You can also get a flagpole bracket as an optional feature. It's pretty inexpensive. And then you can also get the hammock. So this hammock feature, I didn't show you the mount, but it's okay. This hammock feature is really nice. You can actually get 1 or 2 hammocks for outside. I wouldn't opt for them because I don't think hammocks are comfortable, but that's okay. I did mention that you have this receiving ball on both sides down here. You also have an adapter that gets you down to that 2-inch size if you needed it as well. Those are all standard. And then up here is that inner vac system. That's that central vacuum. So we have not only attachments that you can use inside, but you could use those attachments outside and vacuum off your children. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm really not. It's good to vacuum off the children. There's 110 outlets in most of these, just so you know. We've passed through quite a few of them. If you want more of a detailed video on this, like I said, there's a ton of them out there. So this garage is a really big difference. For me, one of the things I would always struggle with was where to keep my broom, my fishing pole, some of my longer items. Where do I keep my tequila, my crown, like all my top shelf stuff? No, I'm just kidding. This is supposed to be a garage. I don't know. It looks like a really cool outdoor bar to me. Just saying mixers, top shelf, however you want to do it. But no, seriously, really, really nice garage space. It's underneath, so if it's raining or anything like that, and you've got a tire you've got to deal with or anything along those lines, maybe you need to get some DEF fluid in your RV, you can keep your DEF back here. It's just a nice garage area that you don't get on the Renegade, and I am looking forward to the use of that. Again, this does have the 360 camera package. It's optional. So this camera up here is kind of cool. It has a really nice view where it will show you down, so that when you're backing up, you can line up to the trailer. Well, we have a 16-foot bullnose trailer that we pull behind us. I mean, a lot of people go, oh, this does not have enough horsepower or torque. Well, do me a favor. Tell me what you're driving when you put that comment below in our comment section, so that I can get some feeling for what you're talking about. Because we make a DD13 Supreme Air in Newmar. We make a Classic in the Renegade. So I've got 500 horsepower, I got 600 horsepower, I got whatever you need. But if you haven't driven this engine and you're just out there poo-pooing it to the general public, please come in. Because I'll tell you one thing, I've driven this up and over the Rocky Mountains dozens of times with a trailer fully loaded in the back and had zero problems. I think it's pretty spectacular. Now, is it a rocket ship? Does it match the 510 horses I have in my personal daily driver? No. But man, is it tried and true and ready to, you know, just conquer the mountains? 100%. So for those of you that are curious, I'm a fan. I just sold one. I just bought another one. I think it's more than enough. I like these really nice little LED light features on the back. I think it's got a really, really sexy butt, which is of course always important. Again, you can air up your tires in either one of these. They both have air chucks. And here's that pass-through storage once again. So this whole back end, you can put really long things through underneath. That's just the back side of that tray. That is the only optional tray storage in this offering. So there is not another optional tray storage if you're asking. Okay, we talked about the wet bay. Definitely a little more attention to this wet bay, a little more space. As we talked about earlier, hot and cold water is a nice feature. You've got your low point drains for cold and hot right here. You also have a black tank valve and a gray tank valve here as well. And you've got a rinse right here as well. Still, both will have the whole house water filter, LED lights, and a power hose reel. Inside, I do like this. This is a new feature for us. I think that this is cool. It's a great place to keep your black water hose. And if you don't want to store it underneath here, you have a nice thing in the Newmar. They offer storage here for your hose as well. I was saying in the video I did on Monday, I would probably get one of those little stick-on hooks to hang my gloves, so I can keep my gloves in here as well. Or you could just keep your hose in there, and you could keep your gloves over here to the right. So just a nice big water bay. And as you can see, these have the single latches where the Renegade has the double latches. But keep in mind, these are power, so you can lock and unlock these automatically. When you actually put the car or put the RV into drive, they'll lock automatically for you. And it's nice that they're on a little fob, so you can make sure that you can hit unlock before you go outside and know that whatever you need to access is going to be open. Again, that awning 8 kilowatt generator is the same in both models. As you'll notice here, this is going to be positioned in the galley under the kitchen, where the other one was going to be positioned back here where the bedroom was. So a little bit different layout. Plus and minuses to both. I am super stoked on an 8 battery system standard on the Superstar. Standard AGM linked, you know, great battery setup, inexpensive to maintain or repair. That's one of my issues with lithium is you spend so much extra money to get better batteries. If one goes out, it's so much extra money to replace better batteries. and with 8 batteries, holy crap, that's a lot of batteries. And I don't know, they last like what, 4 or 5 years. I probably won't have this thing more than 2 years. So if you're looking for a new Superstar in all white, let me know, because I'll probably have one for sale in the next 24 months. I gotta get a new air next. I gotta try them all on, man. Here's your hydraulic system. Again, there's your Oasis, located again, just a little bit different location, up here in the front. And again, it's the dual loop system this year. The only difference between the single loop and the dual loop is that you've got better zone adjustment when you've got 2 loops going underneath. Your inverter is a 2800 watt inverter. There's your 50-foot power cord reel. It is again power. There's your power button, and it is in a really dumb location. Just kidding, Newmar. No, I don't know. So it's longer, which means you're going to still have that 36-foot experience that you have in the Renegade. I just like it in the back, so I'm sure. So Renegades are, well, both, I should say. Both of these manufacturers are very specific about where they put things for weight ratings. So it's definitely not by accident. It's always by design. I just wish they could have put it in the back. Okay, so dual filling station. Once again, DEF is over here. Again, 6 gallons. Same access point that we had to your engine. Same beautiful marriage of that Cummins in red to the Freightliner chassis in black. Both of these are fantastic offerings. Both of these are stupendous RVs. Both of these are really like my dream coach. And if you want to live the dream too, give me a call. I would be happy to answer questions or help you with any decision making you need. Again, my name is Katie O'Neill. I'm here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My number is 303-562-8659. And man, I would love to help you into your next Super C, or to answer questions about Class A versus Super C. Whatever you might need, just email me, give me a call, let me help. And by the way, we're not sold out. You can have one too.